Hello everyone. This weekend I was very flattered to be invited to speak at a small conference about the school can't issue. Kids who can't go to school. Something about it is just too upsetting. And I'm not highly qualified to talk about this issue at all, so I thought I'd respond to this invitation to speak by coming at it from a men's point of view. This is what I think. I'm just going to talk about my experiences. For me, I want to talk about it in terms of past, present and future. But I don't want to talk too much about the past, and we've all got lots of stories to tell and lots of experiences to share. But I like to come at this issue from a very male perspective, and the reason I do that is because there's only 3 of us in the room, isn't there? Thank you for coming, guys. And that's a really disappointing thing. So anyway, getting back to the beginning, I'm going to talk quickly about my experience. I have one daughter who now opts for the they, them pronouns. We started off really well in prep. In Brisbane, I think they call it prep, which is what they do before school at the childcare centre and everything. Brilliant. It was all free learning. It was all colour and light and movement, and I can only emphasise the freedom of the whole educational situation. It was excellent, and she glowed. She learned so much and had a vocabulary that outclassed adults. People commented on how great her speech was. I remember the phrase, hearty chats. We will miss her hearty chats, which I took as a huge compliment for her ability to engage with people of all ages. That ended and we moved on to the first year of primary school. Actually, that was called prep. For some reason, they call the first grade of primary school prep in Brisbane. Then things took a massive turn. Sam was very excited to go to prep and anticipated it as being somewhere where the wings could really spread out. Now I can really learn exciting things about what's out there in the world. But they went right back to the ABCs and the absolute basics. Day 1, not too bad. Okay, we're starting from the base level, that's fine. Day 2, it's like, well, we did the same as yesterday, so what's going on there? Day 3, things were really starting to look like a stock market crash. A couple of weeks into this, I remember taking Sam out to a favourite place that we had to go and have a bit of a play in the afternoon, and there was something different about Sam. Looking into Sam's eyes that day, I clearly remember that it wasn't all of her that was there. I couldn't quite define it, but I was seeing less than the complete person. That was the beginning of a very short road of school won't, which leads very quickly to school can't, and also a very long road as a parent, and I feel it's many of you will probably nod when I say this, but a long road of grief that we're still driving along as we watch the kids struggle with this issue that should never have happened. They should have gone into an educational place where the wings spread and they had access to everything they wanted to know and learn, and all the excitement and the joy of learning that simply didn't manifest when they arrived. I said I wouldn't talk much about the past, but that's 5 minutes there already on the past. So my apologies for that. I did touch a little bit on the present though, and that is my decision, I suppose, to approach this from a very dad point of view and a masculine point of view, I think, because I've made enemies out of plenty of other men's in one particular men's group I'm involved with, which has about 10,000 other men globally in it. And I've made enemies out of plenty of them by making the statement that when you become a parent, all your rights and your concerns and your comforts and everything, they all take the back seat. That's all finished. That's a luxury that you enjoyed when you were single or when you were married with no children. That's gone. If you have children, it's all about children, or it should be, morally, ethically. It should be all about children. Unfortunately, a lot of men don't come at it that way. They think, and jump in, men, if you feel like I'm being too unforgiving here, but I think some men go into fatherhood with the idea of, this is me expanding my empire. This is me getting more staff, basically. That's probably a little unfair, but I'm trying to be slightly...
apply to the guys that are actually here, right?
Quite sure it doesn't.
Just choose to...
Indeed. But because of these points of view, I've been attacked before in a way that I actually find quite invigorating and exciting. I've been attacked as simp is a word that certain men often use, and they're definitely problematic males. Being a radical feminist, or a rampant feminist, and that's not a criticism that I'll accept, because I consider myself a humanist, and in particular, I consider myself pro-children for the reason that I just talked about. If you decide to have them, that's got an enormous amount of gravitas. And I think a lot of men just think, well, this is just stage 1, 2, 3 of life. This is just how we live. And the gravitas of that decision is kind of lost in that sequential way that we've patterned out our lives. And that, I guess, moves me into my futuristic side. Look, another man has just walked in. Fantastic. That makes 4. Okay, the future. The future really has to involve more men. And I'll just quickly ask the mums in the room, how many of your partners today, without wanting to expose anybody or shame anybody, how many of your partners are out doing something recreational while we're here? Yeah, there's discreet nods in the audience. That's fair enough. And I don't want to call out people. What I want to do is call in people, call in men to get involved in this more, to look at your kids, to analyse them and see that, well, hopefully not see that emptiness in their eyes that I saw. But if you do see any kind of a problem as a man, be a dad. Don't be an empire-building father. Don't be an entrepreneur about your family. And again, I want to stress, I don't mean to be overcritical, but this is an attitude I find that comes over again and again and again. First, it starts with the criticism. You're a feminist, you're weak, you're a simp, you're not a career man, you're doing the woman's job, and, silly old phrases like that belong decades in the past. And you argue with that. And then come the things like, when did this problem start? Why did this problem start? What can we do about it? Why didn't somebody else do something about it? Why didn't the government do something? Why didn't my wife smack my child a little bit more? Crazy. These are things I've literally heard. It's all in the past, or it's all irrelevant. Let's look at the future. Let's get involved. Let's look into the eyes of our kids, and let's see what they need and question everything. There's too much acceptance of this formulaic way of living. Like I said, we live like a sequence, school, work, boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, mortgage, education, retirement, death. We're all mapped out in this very formulaic way. Life shouldn't be like that. It should be about looking into each other's eyes, seeing the problems, seeing the issues, looking at the future, getting involved and solving things. That's all I had prepared. I do tend to come at these things in quite a combative, aggressive, and often downright argumentative way. But I think right at this moment in all our journeys, that's what we need. And dads, be a part of that. Thank you.